Okay, so dun, 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 drum roll, please. This is the 2025 FMG marketing guide. Ladies, how much blood, sweat, and tears did our team pour into this?
Oh my gosh, an enormous amount of work and slacks at 1 a.m. and just, yeah, a lot of work. I am truly have never been more proud of anything a team has created in my whole career.
That is
Oh,
so
I love all of
impressive.
the clapping emojis we're getting. Thank you all. You all know if you have a labor of love on something, it is just so great to see it come to fruition. So you are all getting the very first peeks at it of anyone in the world. Right now, we're unveiling it for you. So when you get this, you're going to see the way that we've set it up is we have 5 different sections: website, social media, client and prospect communications, events, and video. And those are the 5 sections. We are going to give you some of our best tips from today, walk you through them. And in this section, if you click on any one of these, it's just going to drop you down there. So it's interactive. You can click on it. And then also within the guide, we have a ton of links that will take you to a blog or a video or more tips for that section. There's tons of examples. And then at the end of each section, I think, Susan, this is your favorite, right? There is a checklist that summarizes everything from that particular section.
I'm
Okay.
starting to answer all the questions. This Q&A thing works almost like chat. Oh, the chat's
No,
working.
I turned on the chat. We're back in. We're in.
Oh,
We got
awesome. Okay. Oh, yay.
Aubrey,
Yes, thank you. I love checklists.
Aubrey wins this award for turning.
Award for
No,
it. Yeah.
I think
For
it's
all of us.
Elise. I think Elise jumped ahead of me. So thank you,
Oh,
thank you.
We got it. We're
It's a
in.
teamwork here, I'm
So
telling
when
you.
we started talking about doing this, and I'm like, all right, what I think advisors really want is to be told, just do this, not read this, 50-page book about best practices and figure it out. Like, I wanted it to be super actionable. So we distilled like all the best practices and tips, but then tried to make it so you could just print out the checklists and, check them off as to-dos and you'll be in awesome shape.
Exactly. But more detail on each one is up above. And then we end the section with additional linked resources, which are 1-hour workshops and webinars, images that you can go get. So truly each section is just jam-packed with info. And again, we have this for 5 different sections. So with that, let's go back up to the top, and we would love to know in the chat, we're going to hop into each of these. Tell us between your website, your social media, your client and prospect communications, events, or video, which of those would you say, what should we ask? You're most excited or you're, chomping at the bit to work on the most in this coming year?
Oh, I can't wait to see these.
Yes. So I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, it's like I can't. Oh, we should have done a poll. Next time we will do a poll for this question because I don't know. Is anybody? I'm kind of
just
seeing
signed up
all
for
of
a
our
website
pillars.
with FMG. Linda said just signed up for a website with FMG. So Linda Kapler is going to have a good opportunity this year to make her website.
You know what? I want to give out our first swag. Can I give our? Oh my God, I have to scroll so far. Scott Brooks, I've been researching all week and I cannot find anything or any other company that compares to the FMG web and do it for you marketing. So Scott, you are our first winner. You're getting a backpack cooler. So if you want to message me or, email us after the event, we're kicking off our swag.
Heck yeah. Nice. Awesome. All right. So we're going to keep going. So again, we're starting with website tips that we can give you and walk you through a little bit more outside of the guide. So number 1, we were talking about this, ladies, right? And, this is something we have to check ourselves on all the time too. The I versus we, the what's in it for the person we're trying to target in our messaging. And we'll put this in the website section, but truly, right, this applies to all of your marketing, no matter what you're doing. So here's the audit. We would love for you all to pull up your website, to take a look at it, and to see how much of what you've listed in your website is talking about you, your firm, your qualifications, how long you've been in business, versus what you can do to help create a solution for the people you serve.
Perfect. So, I have to like jump into a swag thing. Christina says, if I tell you that you are the most fun, enthusiastic, generous, and experienced ladies I've ever heard of, do I get swag? And I kind of said yes.
We gotta.
But there's so many in here. I could give all the swag away already. There's so many compliments and like engagement. This is gonna be tough. Maybe Aubrey, we can figure out a way to we're going to give everybody the guide, by the way. I've seen that question, but you're all winners and winner chicken dinner. So I'm going to give the yoga bag to I think it was Christina, right? Okay.
Oh, and I should mention, I saw in the Q&A, someone asked, how much do we have to pay for this ebook, guys? It is free for you all. We are not charging for it. Though
No.
honestly, we probably could and sell a lot of copies because it's that good. But we just ultimately want you all to know that marketing, even though it feels intimidating, when you really have a guide there to guide you through it, you can do it. You can do a great job. And that's why we put this together. Okay. So again, the website audit is where we would start. So let's look at a couple examples. So again, you're thinking about what is the problem the clients or the customer or the prospect has, and what is the solution you provide to that problem. So here, this was one of our website of the month winners that we featured last month on LinkedIn Live. And I love this copy on their website, ladies. What do you think about it?
I love it. And I think one of the biggest things that sticks out to me is you're not going to see that headline on anybody else's website. And it's not traditional and it's not, formal and boring. It captures you. I mean, I'm guessing everybody that's looking at this is like, oh, that's clever. We like to be entertained. We like to talk to people that are talking like people. And I think that's just really important to remember.
And the imagery is so fitting. It's this cute little girl with her plant and with the idea of playing on the words of growing. I catches our attention.
Yeah, and all of the you focused language here, right? Your life looks like this. You've turned a corner. You're anticipating a big life change. So hopefully this gives you some inspiration about what we're talking here instead of talking all about yourself or your qualifications, making it all about the person that you serve. Some of you might say though, well, that's a little bit easier if you have a niche, but what if you serve a general population? I love this example because we hear this a lot. I'm an advisor. We help businesses, families, and individuals with financial planning. So how can I take that and make it so that somebody will read it and say, yes, you work with people just like me. I love this example on the right. Retirement planning for individuals 50 and older, 401k solutions for businesses with 50 to 200 employees. So it's a lot more
And to get your free assessment too, like that call to action, not, I want somebody to tell me if I'm on track, find out if you're on track. That's another good one.
Yes, 100%. One other example, supporting you when you may need it most. I love this website that was just launched with our FMG premium websites for recent widows or widowers. We help you navigate your financial picture. For special needs families, we build a plan for your own retirement and your family legacy goals. So you can see they're targeting more than one group of people, but the way it reads, it's still very inviting. You understand it's all under that umbrella of people who need support at a critical time. And because Susan brought up the call to action, I just want to put this in here. And I'd love to know in the chat, do you struggle with calls to action on your website, getting people to book a meeting or give up their email? So this example is from retirementmatters.co. So they specifically really help this one pharmaceutical company's employees, Abby V. But what I love is their call to action is want some free advice. And then they talk about if you're an employee of this company and you're wondering about your benefits package, we can give you some information about it, right? This is a great secondary call to action. What we find is that a lot of people don't realize that most of your website visitors are not going to just book a meeting with you, right? They're going to come there, and then this happens to us all the time.
You know what? Actually, this is like a real life story. So for years and years and years on the FMG website, our public website, we just said, get a demo, get a demo, get a demo. And then it dawned on us, like, most people don't want to go straight to potentially a demo. Or like, I want to talk to somebody about my needs and whether or not I'm on track or whether there are solutions that would benefit me. So just changing that, we changed it to get a 20-minute consult. And we've seen a huge jump in responses. So these little word changes just can make a big difference. And I think for you, would work the same way. Get a 20-minute consult, because the other thing people don't have is time.
100%. So yeah, make sure you have, you have a call to action for people who are ready, and then one for those who are not yet ready. All right, so we went through the website one quick. Are we ready to talk about social media? I know when I asked on LinkedIn what topics you most all wanted help with, this was a very, very popular one. And so the social media section, we have so many great tips in here. It was hard to think about what could we start with, because we don't want to, It's a broad topic. So I actually posted this the other day and it resonated so much. So many people responded saying they would love to learn more about developing a better LinkedIn strategy when I post this, but maybe you could tell us in the chat if this resonates with you. Do you feel like when you log into social media, if you're on LinkedIn, that your feed is just filled with other people doing the same thing, other financial advisors?
I literally just talked to an advisor earlier today who said the same thing. I'm like, you missed Sam's post. She just talked about this.
Yes. And so this is something that people then will come to us and say, well, I'm posting, but everybody engaging with my content is just other financial advisors, right? Okay, so we're seeing in the chat, yes, a lot of this. So
Yes.
if that is you, here's what you should look like, what it should look like and what you should do instead, right? So for instance, if you're an advisor who would help small businesses with exit planning, you want to follow other business planners account, you want to follow content from other people who help small businesses with maybe their technology, right? So what are the struggles and the issues that they're having? Maybe you specialize in franchisees, so you follow other accounts targeting franchise owners. You want to go out there and find the accounts that are also sharing content relevant to those people or follow those people themselves. Same thing if you work with physicians, you could follow local hospitals, right? If you work with physicians in Philly, you could follow the local hospital systems, you could follow residency programs, and not just follow them, but those would be the people that you would want to comment and engage with their posts.
I think, I'm totally guilty of this too. I think we are a bit reactive with LinkedIn. Like most of us sit and we get requests. So we just accept, most of them. So we're kind of building our network based on who's reaching out to us instead of controlling it and defining who do we want to build our network with. And that's, it's intentional and it takes a little time, but I think you'll hit on a couple, habits that you can start forming, and it will make all the difference if you start engaging and reaching out and connecting with your target audience, your target COIs, your target media. And yes, you can still accept the advisors in your broker dealer or in your networks or in your study groups, but they don't help you grow. So making sure you do the other is really important.
Yeah, think of it as additive, right? If you're trying to get healthy, dietitians will tell you, don't think about eliminating all the foods you shouldn't eat. Think about adding in more fruits, more vegetables.
So
don't
true.
Think about, you don't need to go back and delete everyone. You just need to start adding in the people that are going to be your target demographic.
Yeah. Oh, somebody just mentioned, and many advisors do recruit. And in that case, other advisors are your target audience. So different strategy.
100%. So let's talk a little bit about the
And I'll just quick, we're getting a bunch of compliance. Having worked at large broker dealers, compliance should have no problems at all with your connection strategy and commenting on other people's posts.
There are very, very few I still hear are not allowed to leave comments, but I think it's definitely in the minority, and it used to be so popular and so many have changed that. So if you are in that minority, it's probably going to change in the future. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Okay. And then people are,
I love this. Oh, and this is perfect timing. It's New Year's. Almost.
Yes. So as you're building your habits for the new year, this comes directly from the social media section of our guide. We wanted to make it as easy as possible. Have you guys ever heard of habit stacking? James Clear, and Atomic Habits, one of my favorite books.
Yes.
Stack the habit, right? So if you, like Susan, wake up every day and walk the dog, can you, right when you get back from walking the dog, spend your 15 minutes doing your daily engagement? So
FYI, nobody has a better habit routine than Sam. We actually just offlined a little bit before we started. I learned that she makes sure the house is picked up, her bed is made, she's made up, done her hair, probably 8 other things, probably run a marathon before she comes downstairs. She's like, you don't do that? I'm like, oh my gosh. So Superwoman.
Embarrassing me. Thank you. Please tell us about this habit, because now I'm all embarrassed. What do you think?
No, Atomic Habits, one of my favorite books, because we can add on. But when we're adding, especially when we're talking about LinkedIn, 10, 15 minutes makes the world of difference.
Yeah. And I think the number one thing to think about here is if you have 200 followers or connections and you just engage with them, you'll never grow. So you have to systematically go and find people you're not yet connected with that you want to target and connect with them, right? So if you want to sign more physicians to work with your business, go again, find a hospital system. Look at, you can go open LinkedIn, search for the hospital name, click on people who work there, and then it'll give you a list of everybody who's raised their hand and said, I work at this company, and you can comment on all their posts. And even if they're not a physician themselves, they're probably connected to physicians, so they'll see your comments. So that is how you would do it.
And I think like one little aha that's a bit of a nuance from what we talk about this a lot, but it kind of dawned on me because we were thinking about intentionally reaching out to people and connecting, but almost give yourself 2 weeks to comment on their post, 2 to 3 weeks, because not everybody posts every week. And some people you want to connect with probably don't even post. But for those that do, maybe even give yourself a goal of commenting on 2 of their posts before you send a connection request, because nobody misses any comment on their posts, and they will remember your name and be like, who's that? They'll look you up. And then when you send a connection request with a personalized message, you'll practically have launched from, not knowing the person to them perceiving you as a friend.
It's been scientifically proven that when you get that red notification, we're getting that little drop of dopamine. So of course you remember that person.
Totally.
Yeah, and if you do it more than once, right? And especially when you're not asking for anything, you're just making them feel good. Like, I loved your post, or that was insightful. People think to themselves, wait, who is this person complimenting?
What a great person. Yeah.
So I just threw a couple of these in here because people ask all of the time about tools to help them with content. So we put a few of our favorites in here. Again, this is in the guide, but because so many of you are saying you are an FMG customer already, I did want to highlight, because we mentioned it in every single event, we have a mobile app that makes posting to social media so much easier as well. And so if you're not using that already, you absolutely want to download it. And we designed the FMG mobile app to 100% reflect best practices. The number one most important, with whether you're an FMG customer or not, you should be doing this, is to write in the 0-click content way. So if you've come to a webinar before, you've heard us talk about this, but it bears repeating because I still see people not doing it. So this was the old way, right? You would post your link to your blog, your website, your video, and then say something short about it, and people had to go click to understand it. The new way is you get the information in the visual or in the post itself without somebody needing to click to read. And the reason this is important is we just spent all this time talking about comments and how important they are. You will get so many more comments if you give the meat of the information away in the post itself, the 0-click formatting. And
All right,
so
I'm giving a prize.
Okay.
Hope just called out that she didn't know there was an app. That's so convenient. And I love that, because I'm guessing you are not the only one on the webinar that did not know we have an app. I don't know. It's like the most known feature that we have, I think. And everybody's always like, oh my gosh. So anyway, I'm going to give you a blanket, one of our cozy blankets for the winner. So I hope if you can just send a message to our hosts or email us back, you are getting a blanket.
Mary just said 0-click content leveled up our LinkedIn game. So I love hearing that. And, I think one of the things, just again, to keep in mind is it's getting into a new habit. So if you're used to just linking out to your blog or your podcast or your video, right, you're going to upload it natively there into LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever first. You're going to, again, if you can use an AI tool, if you're like, I don't know how to do this, you can open up one of ChatGPT, Perplexity, take your post, put it in there and say, summarize it for LinkedIn. However, that is what our AI tool does for you. So if you have an FMG mobile app, you can say, write the text for me, and it will summarize what the article, the blog post, whatever is all about right there in the app. So again, this is really the way to get the most comments, which we all know comments are the currency of social media, because the more you get, the more your post will be shown to more people.
Oh, Fran Weitzman is downloading it right now. I'm giving out we're going to give Fran would you prefer a Yeti wine tumbler or the coffee Yeti? Fran, you'll have to let me know.
Fran choices,
Choices, oh, that's dangerous. That's going to be hard. Okay. When you message us, let us know whether you want the coffee or the wine. I don't want to assume everybody, well, the wine could be anything in there. And there was a comment I wanted to do. All right, we'll come back to it. I lost my train of thought.
Okay.
There's so many good comments we can't.
I know. Someone asked a great question. They said, "Are you penalized for sharing a link?" No, it's not that you can never share a link. I'm sorry. That's a great question. I want to make that clear. So for instance, if I'm posting, I'll post something without a link, Then the next day, something without a link. Maybe it's a video I uploaded. And the day after that, like just 2 days ago, I shared a promo about today's event and there was a link to register. So it's not that you never want to share a link. You just don't want to share one, A, every day, and B, when you do share the link, you still want to summarize what it is about so the person doesn't have to click off to read it.
I was actually just going to say, because, there's a lot, it's easier to share somebody else's article and say, great read, but you need to summarize it, and that can be a part of your strategy on social, just not all.
And we just got a really good question. Is the app connected to compliance? And yes, it is.
Yes.
We
Of
get all
course,
these-
everything about FMG is
course it
connected.
is.
I was going to say,
compliance. We
you know,
love
one of
compliance.
the best benefits of working with FMG, if you are a financial advisor, is we are always thinking about compliance first because we know that you can't use it if we aren't. So
All right, Chloe is heading over to a meeting with Nicholas Wilson on our team. So I'm going to give Chloe what are we going to do? I'm going to give Chloe a speaker. So Chloe, either tell Nicholas or send us a message and let us know your address. We'll
well,
get you.
Nicholas, we said hello.
Yes. Tell Nicholas we said
we're
hello.
on
All right, on to
section
3.
And remember, everyone, this is just the tip of the iceberg of the guide. There's so much more good stuff in every section. We're just highlighting a few of the best of the best. So client and prospect communications. This is, kind of, I feel like sometimes the least sexy that people get excited about. However, it has the highest conversion rate. So it should be the sexiest. This comes from our friends at YChart. They found through actually the last couple years surveys, if the number stays about the same, 75% of clients either left or considered leaving their advisor due to infrequent communications. In 2023, they found that. They also found that the year before. And I'm not surprised. I mean, if you think about, why someone chooses to work with somebody, a lot of it is coming down to the relationship. And if the person stops communicating with you, just like in a dating relationship, you don't have a relationship anymore if you never hear from them. So communication is really, really key.
Quick question to Elise. Hi, Tim Burris. I know Tim. We're getting a couple questions on the app. People are going on and downloading it right now. But when they are with a broker dealer that has an enterprise relationship, Elise, can you tell them how they log in?
Yeah, they can use their single sign-on with their broker dealer that they normally have, but if you're logging into the mobile app for the first time or the 100th time, you use your username and password that you would for the desktop. So the same username and password that you use to sign in usually is to FMG. That's the exact same one that you would use. Or if you are, with Osaic and you have My CMO or anything like that, you just use your same username and login.
And I think what might happen is they're so used to single sign-on that they don't remember it. We also are getting some, I'm getting a call customer service. I will say we do work with some enterprises that have not approved the app. So it's inevitable that we talk about things that may not be available in every single situation. So you can message us, after the meeting, and we'll certainly address your individual situations.
Absolutely.
Awesome. But I'm so excited so many people want it because
I know.
Okay, so we know that this is important. We wanted to dive right into a tip that we've talked about before, but we still find so many people are not doing, but it makes the world of difference. And we have found this ourselves, right? So if you are trying to move the needle with email marketing or client communications, right? This goes for both clients and prospects. The more you segment your list further into smaller bite-sized chunks, the more you will be able to send targeted messages and the higher your conversion and or open click-through rates will be. So what do we mean by this? The example I just gave recently was, let's say you have a list of prospects and they announced the new cost of living adjustments for people on Social Security. And you're like, people who are on, good about to retire would really want to know this. But you don't want to send it out to every single person on your list. But if you have a list of prospects that are, nearing retirement or, about to retire the next year or just retired, that would be an audience where an extra email with this news, they would happily want to know how much more money are you going to get in your Social Security check next year. So this is why having these segments makes such a difference. And it also is really going to help your open and click-through rate numbers when you're, doing your email communication. So Susan, Elise, what do you think are some of the more popular ways to segment that maybe people aren't, or not even popular, but interesting ways somebody might want to consider?
Well, I always, for the Do It For Me, we're writing a center of influence version for every email that we're doing. because that can be just such a huge opportunity and it takes time to nurture. It's not like you call somebody up and say, have lunch, I want to get your clients. It really is sort of proving that you're a thought leader and you're, altruistic and all the rest. So I think creating a center of influence, which takes time. I mean, you have to build it manually. It's not like they're coming to you, but I would add that to it.
And I would say thinking about either specific demographics, age is a really good one. So, hey, these are my millennials, these are my pre-retirees, and we have automations that happen to align perfectly with some of those. We also like lifestyle. Hey, these are my wine drinkers and these are my golfers. So you have a charity golf tournament coming up. You can send the right message to the right audience. So depending on your niche audience, or maybe work with like white coat professionals. And I would specify, hey, these are, or maybe I work with dentists, but these are my endodontists. These are my periodontists. These are my pediatrics,
Do you have special content for the perio versus the whatevers?
You can, if you're getting granular,
Sure
we
can.
like to see it, the right message to the right audience.
I have to read
Awesome.
this comment from William Abram. He just said, when we started with FMG earlier this year, it took a few days, but we segmented our email list in our CRM and then connected it to FMG. But now we have it done. It's so nice to have in place to send custom emails out. We even used one to send a geographic list of clients, an invitation to a client barbecue. We had 50 people attend, all without any paper invitations and very few phone calls.
Oh,
I
we used our
absolutely-
event tool that we're going to share. That is totally worth a backpack cooler.
That was William Abraham. So thank
William,
you.
please
Yes.
send us your address and congratulations. It takes time, but it is so worth it.
And Kelly just said, I'm slightly overwhelmed by the amount of information you're sharing, but it's so incredibly useful. Always room for improvement. And we totally 100% get that. We're going to talk a little bit more about our Do It For Me program in a minute, but we built that with people exactly like you in mind. We don't want you to feel overwhelmed because we can help you get it done.
Totally.
All right. So I want to make sure that we have time to keep going through everything, but just a quick shout out. I know we are lovers of AI tools that help us with content creation, and we think you all are too. So if you're thinking about your subject line, remember your subject line is really the gate that's going to determine whether somebody clicks to open it and keep reading or not. You can use a free AI tool called subjectline.com, and it will help you determine whether the subject line you wrote is really clickable and you're going to get a good click-through rate. So we love that tool and we want you to check it out.
Yeah, I love that one. And also I run my subject lines through like a ChatGPT a lot too, just to come up with options. Sometimes I don't feel that it's better, but sometimes it just gives you an idea. Like it never has like the perfect one, but you're like, oh, I'll take the end of that and maybe add it to the first part of that one. And then the middle I liked with my own or something like that.
Susan, didn't you just use subjectline.com as another?
That's what Sam was just sharing. Yeah, I
know
used
you
that.
were in
I
the
started using that, and I think I'm just so used to going into like Chat or Bard or Claude,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So a quick example, we just wanted to shout out, if you're not doing timely email communication, so obviously in the FMG dashboard, we have every time there's something timely going on with the government, with the markets, we add something as fast as we can. But Susan, why don't you tell us a little bit about this, when to expect your 1099 email, and how, this was so popular and as an example of our Do It For Me program.
Yeah. So last year I hadn't thought of this. So, shame on me, but we were talking to a bunch of I was talking to a bunch of advisors, and one of them was like, God, I keep getting calls from my clients. They're saying like, when do I get my 1099 for this or that, or the other time my 1099 div, blah, blah, blah. And they were getting a lot of client calls. And they're like, can you write something that preempts them from calling and just outlines all the different types of 1099s, when people generally send them out, when to expect them, not to submit anything with the word draft on it, all that stuff. And so I wrote something, advisors sent it out, and they got tons of thank yous and also prevented a bunch of calls. So we did it again this year and dusted it off. And that's something that our Do It For Me customers have access to. And that kind of content, like just thinking ahead about timely stuff that just is a benefit to you because they don't call, but also a huge benefit to them.
So I'm getting questions. I keep seeing questions while you're talking in the question box about, well, what is the Do It For Me program? Is it different than the other part of FMG? So Susan, I pulled this up. Why don't you walk us through it, since your beautiful face is right there?
I'm like, move up. Yeah. So our Do It For Me program in a nutshell it really came about because of things like this, that we're just, there's so much information and so much good advice, but advisors are overwhelmed and they don't have time to think about it all. So they, we'd talk about, best practices and things, and people would just say, that's lovely, but can you just do it for me? And I've always wanted to build a program called Do It For Me. And we did a couple years ago at FMG, and we just keep making it better. And essentially it's all based on the premise that content marketing is what's really going to drive your growth. Consistent content marketing, positioning you as a thought leader across all of your different channels and dripping on all of the people that are most important to you for growing your business, centers of influence, clients, and prospects. So I write 2 blogs. I version them for emails that can go to clients, prospects, and centers of influence. And I really do version them. And then we write social posts, both, on really interesting, timely financial information. I read all the time. I have my husband read and find me stuff on Wall Street Journal and Barron's. And then I'm just paraphrasing again, the zero-click content. And then also observances. And then we do timely optional emails. Like one of the most popular is an invitation to a family meeting. That's gotten tons of people intros to the next generation. And then they have most importantly, probably they have a concierge, a dedicated concierge who reviews the calendar with them, knows their business, points out the pieces that they think are most relevant, maybe should be personalized, an opportunity to personalize. And then once the calendar is approved every month, they execute the whole thing for them.
So yeah,
Did I
so
go
this,
on?
this is color coded. So you would get the calendar. It would say on this day, we're going to send out this blog. On this day, we're going to send out this email. And the person might say, oh, hey, well, can we do something specific for business owners? We'll say, yep, we've got content for that. We even give you a podcast script and a video script of the month and a specific marketing tip. And then it's all linked, right? So we were just talking about that 1099. You can see the email itself in a Google Doc, and it shows you the image. It shows you anything that would be in the actual email itself. So this,
and if you're Do It For Me customer, you have access to a separate content collection called exclusive content. So somebody's asking, can you tell me where to find this? It only shows up in the FMG dashboard when you have the Do It For Me program, and we're happy we'll do a poll later in case anybody's interested in learning more. I also got a really good question. Is it realistic to expect inbound leads from content marketing? And absolutely, like just yesterday, Sam, in our Do It For Me Wins Slack channel, I think, was it the guy just got a email back from a prospect, and he had, like $1 million and wanted to, he's like, I've been getting your emails. I, read them and they've been really good. And you know what, I don't know if it was changed jobs and had a rollover, but it is about being top of mind when that trigger event happens, which you will never be able to anticipate.
know when it's going to happen.
So you have to just prove that you aren't, you're not pushing them for something. You're just altruistically sharing information, and that builds trust with people over time, whether it's centers of influence or whether it's clients and prospects. And when that moment happens, they immediately respond and they give you the business. We truly believe it is the way to grow your business.
Yeah. And remember with funnel, people get really excited about social media all the time. It's like the sexy thing. And I always say that's top of the funnel. You're not converting people there, but where the conversion happens is in email marketing, right? So you get them from somewhere. You get them from events, which we're about to talk about, which we is the best lead gen tool. But then the email marketing is where the conversion happens.
We're getting a couple questions. One is, how much is too much communication? What do you guys think?
I say no, with the email strategy, no more than once a week.
Yep. And I would agree. Again, if you segment your clients, you are able to send more personalized information and have more emails technically going out from yourself, but it's not to the same person. Yeah, not more than once a week. There's a stat, I don't know if we already blew through this, but something like 75% of clients considered changing their advisor because of lack of communication. So I think one of the biggest myths to debunk is that you are afraid to send too much. If you are sending information that as you read it, the chairman of Lightyear, which is a private equity firm that owned Cetera, an advisor group who I had the privilege of working with, he once said to me, does it pass the wife? He was in another generation. It could have been the husband. Does it pass the wife, husband, friend test? Which is, if you receive it, do you want to talk? Do you want to tell somebody about it? Like, if you get this, would I actually go like, hey, Rick, did you realize like the 1099 from blankety blank? We should probably get that. If it passes the, I would want to tell somebody about a test, that's no downside. A bad thing to send.
Exactly. And that also, the timely part too. So you might have already sent your email out for the week, but some breaking news happens, like Silicon Valley Bank is collapsing and everybody's worried about the bank collapse. You can send another email. Don't stress. Like, people would rather hear from you about something very timely.
And
Oh my gosh,
sometimes-
like Taylor is like leading us into how should we use video in email and social? We'll get to that. That's our last pillar, I think, is video.
So I was just gonna say, we got to move quicker, I guess, because we got 20 minutes left.
Oh, okay.
So let's just quickly, so a lot of you may not realize that FMG acquired MyRepChat. And so if you're thinking about compliant texting or how to combine email and texting together, this is something we can now help you with, which we're very excited about. So we just put a couple tips in here. In the marketing guide, there's a whole section on texting and how to combine email and texting. One of the stats that was really mind-blowing for us when we looked at our own internal data was that when you send someone a text that they need to return you a document, hey, complete that DocuSign, the average turnaround time was just 5 minutes to get the documents completed versus, how many times have we sent emails and no one ever responds. So
Totally.
again, with texting, just thinking about how can you pair it with your other email communications. Aaron Trost just said in all caps, so excited about this acquisition.
We are too.
We are too. And we have just full disclosure, like there's no end to the enhancements that we can make to this platform. And we are putting a ton of money and time and investment into it. So it's just going to get better and better.
Yeah, down the road, we have so many great things on our roadmap, like being able to have live chat on your website. People are so used to talking to AI now. So when someone will come to your website, you can add a bot and they'll be chatting with you and it'll go directly to the text. So let's put up a poll, Aubrey. If you are interested in hearing more about MyRepChat and how you can combine it with your other communications, let us know. And then we will send you more information. But again, there's a lot of really cool things planned for this tool of how you'll be able to pair it with marketing communications and not just send it for, appointment reminders or things like that.
There was a couple questions about, can I get into MyRepChat from FMG? Not yet, but it is coming. And yeah, perfect.
Okay, let's talk about events. And we did mention that we believe that events really are one of your best lead gen opportunities. They are for us at FMG. They are for a ton of businesses. And just think about right now, the feeling you all have. You're seeing what each other are writing in the comments. You're interacting with each other. You're interacting with us, real human beings. I think the more, I don't know about you ladies, I personally believe the more that AI dominates content marketing, the more people are going to crave experiences, right? Whether it's in person or virtual, events are going to become bigger and bigger and bigger.
Absolutely.
Right.
I just put a little, I just couldn't help because I just see so many compliments and I can't get to them all and I can't thank everybody and I can't give enough swag away, but like we grow through testimonials and positive comments. If any of you have shared positive comment here and don't mind just copying and pasting it and giving us a Google review, I put the link in, just FYI.
Yes, we would love it. We'll shout you out on the next webinar.
Somebody asked if Zoom is different than MyRepChat, and I think the biggest difference is MyRepChat has compliance workflows. So compliance teams approve it, it archives, it reviews, and it just makes it a compliant. It's an app. It is not using your SMS app, the one that we all use all day long. It is within an app, and it just makes your communications through text compliant.
Okay, awesome. So when we think about, again, an event, we've been talking a lot about how do we create something that people want to talk about, a remarkable moment. The word remarkable literally means something so good, someone wants to remark about it to someone else. So when we think about events can help you do just that, right? If you host an event, which we're going to give you some ideas here in a second, and people go and have a great experience and someone says, what did you do on Saturday? That's something people might want to talk about. Or if you host a FBI agent, a subject matter expert to come in and you host a webinar and you talk all about scams that seniors should avoid, and somebody learns crazy information about a scam targeting, the elderly right now, they might go tell all their friends, hey, watch this out for your parents. So it really helps you create these remarkable moments, which we just know that it works. It helps you generate really high quality leads, but only 23% of advisory firms, according to our research, are actually using webinars. So maybe tell us in the chat, do you use webinars at all? Have you tried those kinds of events? Because
Maybe
we,
add to that. I actually am kind of wondering why you don't.
yes, that would be good. That would be good.
What is the barrier?
Okay, we hold quarterly webinars. We tried one, it was not successful.
Compliance.
Tracy, can I just tell you, I host webinars all the time now. We get thousands of attendees. My very first webinar I ever hosted, I had 4 people sign up. And guess what I did?
Oh.
I went up live, I dressed all up, I put the whole thing together and presented it, and I interacted with everybody as if there was a bunch of people there because they couldn't tell. And then at the end, it was recorded and I put it on our website. And
Alan Fisher said he was on that webinar.
oh, yay.
All right, Alan, you get a backpack cooler.
Yeah. And so, you know,
Longtime
you can still present it because even if you only have 4 people or 2 people,
Yeah.
those are 2 really high quality leads, right? Would you be happy to get 2 people book a time on your calendar?
So what we were going to talk about, because I think my hypothesis and what we talked about before, Sam, was I think the reason people don't do it is, you know, I'm nervous to do it. I've done them, but they're not successful, meaning I don't get people there. You know, we've got the tip to help you get people there and make it successful. So let's go.
Okay.
We have the
So
answers.
yes, why don't you talk about this one, Susan? Because I know you've walked people through it before, and I'm going to take a sip.
Yeah,
of water.
I mean, don't put all the pressure on yourself. Like, I think there's this perception that you've got to create this massive deck with fabulous stats and information and everything. You don't. You actually just need to pick a topic that people are interested in, and it doesn't have to be about the market. It doesn't even have to be about a planning topic. You know, a great one right now is about identity theft. It is on the minds of everybody. It is tangentially completely related to financial services. And you can partner with a local law official, law enforcement person. The banks typically have somebody that can speak to this. And you do a joint webinar where they do the speaking and you're just asking them questions. Most of us feel much more comfortable in the asking questions part. And it can just be you 2 on a Zoom without any slides. And if there's some good takeaways, then you might put that on a slide, but it's easy. And then if you do it something like, let's say you do something with we're entering tax time. There could be, I mean, literally endless numbers of topics that you could do with a CPA. If you have, and a great opportunity to open the door with a CPA, but ideally if you work with one, do a joint webinar, and then you're both inviting your respective clients. This is where you start getting success and getting new names. That's when you're getting people that you're not already in front of. If you just do a webinar and invite your clients, you're not going to get a ton of new names, but they might invite somebody. But if you partner, you're getting all of their audience as well. Then you can use the replay for, you know, clips, for social, for your email. But most importantly is just, it's easier to do it with somebody else. And then our event tool makes it really, really easy to promote. So you are successful at getting people there.
And I want to just also mention, if a lot of people are saying, well, I already have an email list, I'm trying to get new people to sign up, put it on LinkedIn as a LinkedIn event, and then you can use the advanced filtering techniques on LinkedIn to find your ideal people to invite. So there's an advisor I know, he works with a lot of tech workers in Silicon Valley, and he'll host webinars on like RSUs, things like that. He'll filter Google, Amazon, different employees, and then through LinkedIn and send them the invite to the event that he set up on LinkedIn. I did a whole walkthrough on how to do this, by the way, in our last LinkedIn Advanced Strategies workshop, which is on fmgsuite.com under the webinars page. So if you
I'll send it real quick. I have it
if
right
you
here.
want to see how to do that, it's there. But that's a great way to get new, fresh people in the door. So do we want, I don't know if we have time, Susan, should we show off the event tool a little bit real quick?
We should show off the event tool and we can go quickly through the video. As I'm like trying to message people, everything we say, because we do talk fast and there's so much content and we get excited, everything is in the guide. And I think that's one of the best parts of this.
That's part. We're just highlighting.
You won't miss anything. We will send out a replay of the slides, the webinar, but the guide has everything. But I think it's good to show just how easy we make it to promote an event, because if we had one thing that I'd love you all to start doing in 2025, it is events, because I think it is the way to start getting those new emails that you can then do the email dripping on that will have the greatest impact on your growth.
Yes.
The guide is coming to everybody in the follow-up email, by the way.
Okay, so I've ventured into our dashboard, into our events section, and I built it out. So I added all the pertinent details. I even customized a header and added how to register and all of that. I won't get into the nitty gritty details. Let's look at how beautiful the landing page is and how easy it is for people to sign up. So I created this landing page that you
You
can
have to
send
share your
out.
screen.
Oh, I have to share my screen. It's not sharing. Here I am showing off all this great stuff.
Well, I love that ticket. I mean, that's good inspiration. I think that's a super cute invite.
And
Okay.
as you're about to share, Susan, I think we have to give some swag to the person who just said they use our event tool all the time. Marilyn Ruggles said she uses
Awesome.
our event functionality constantly, and it couldn't be easier to use.
All right, we're
Okay.
giving her a blanket and a speaker.
Oh, yay.
I don't know, I
Okay.
just felt like it. We're getting
Got
towards
it.
the end. We got to give it all away.
Yeah,
this
Elise,
is-
go ahead and share.
Page and how easy it is to register. And so we can add your name, they can add additional guests. We want to encourage them to send this to their friends and family because we want to build on that network. And so let's go back to editing event and let's take a look at promotion of this event. So as we look to promote, I think that's one of the things we shy away from when we're doing events, right? Oh my gosh, do I need a fancy light and a fancy microphone? No, we have our computers and they do everything we need. And sometimes we shy away from the promotion of it because it's so much work, but with our tool, it makes it so stinking easy. So I can easily share via email, an email that goes out, and easily share the social media. So let's take a look at it creates these social media posts for you to share. So this is an example of one. I can use this as is, or I can come in and edit and add all of my own features to it, add my own imagery, add my own voice. And so this is a social sequence that will go out. So the first post will go out, it'll wait 7 days, the second post, and so on. And we have the exact same thing with email. So send the emails, dedicate it to the exact audience. We talked about segmentation, to your right segmented audience, and then hit send and you're done. That's it. We promoted our holiday event or whatever event you want to do.
Quick
And
question, how does it tie into your website? Can you promote it? Can you promote this on your website?
Absolutely. So this landing page lives on your website. You can share on social. You could even create a blog post about your event coming up. You could even add it as a LinkedIn event. So create it once and then use it in multiple ways.
And I wanted to point out, in case somebody's confused about this, because I've gotten this question before, you could, if it's a virtual event, right, you would still have a Zoom link, like host it via Zoom. You'd be on here like we all are, but the link for them to join the Zoom or to register for the Zoom would be in the landing page.
Yep. So right when it says register, it would take you, instead of to ours, it would take you to a Zoom registration link. So we support third party, or maybe you're collecting RSVPs via Eventbrite or Zoom or GoToWebinar, whatever it might be, we support them. All right. Those
Awesome.
beautiful
I'm
events.
adding the link to the advanced LinkedIn webinar because we got some comments that people couldn't see it, and I just had a typo in webinar, so excuse me.
And one more thing with events, just because there's and because we have to keep going, but we also have pre-event themes.
Yes.
So if you want to think about a state of the markets webinar or the Secure Act 2.0 or the ever so popular tax strategies, we have pre-made events with pre-made promotions. So you just have to type in your time and your date and, is parking included, and you're ready to send.
Yes. Okay, so let's move on to the very last section, video. This was one of the ones that people asked for a ton of intel and insight on. We're not going to have time to go into too much today. A ton is in the guide. We have been thinking about maybe hosting a whole video dedicated workshop in the new year. So let us know if that's something you'd be interested in. We'll gauge interest. But the number one thing we wanted to just talk about here, well, there's two things really. One, we're going to tell you how FMG can help you with video and some of the tools. But then the other thing is one of the biggest kind of blunders we see, which is so many people start their video and they forget that the first 5 seconds are the most important. So when you go to hit play, you don't want someone to say, "Hi, I'm Samantha Russell from FMG," or "Today I'm going to talk to you about this." You want to give them a hook right away to get them to keep watching. So you don't introduce yourself first. You want to start with either a bold statement or a fact or a story, or give away what someone will get from watching. So I just put a couple hook ideas here that will hopefully get the creative juices flowing for you. right? I've helped 100 people retire. Here's what most of them said they wish they'd known or done before retirement. Or before you apply for Social Security, watch this. Or whatever the case may be. If you're trying to use video as a way to, capture people's attention, that hook is so, so important. If you're looking for a really easy way to record, we love v.io. We all use it. It's on your
Use it.
desktop. And
Love it.
you can both edit the video and record the video there, both your face and your screen. They should be paying us at this point, ladies, to talk about
All
them.
right, so William,
In
William,
Canva.
he's helping us so much. He just mentioned that he's shared a link about all of our video ideas on our FMG website. So William, thank you so much.
William,
Thanks.
thanks.
Amazing.
We'll have you
Amazing.
help us post next time.
So email communications is a really easy way to start if you're not doing this already, right? You can go back to Veed, record yourself, and maybe it's just something you send to clients. Maybe you're not really ready to go. You don't want to start a YouTube channel. You don't want to post it to social media, but you want to just start doing some video emails with clients. So an easy way would be to record it, again, using something like Veed. And then when you go to share it, you can upload it to your email. So we have an amazing, amazing widget in FMG where instead of having to first upload it to Vimeo or Wistia, you can just upload the video directly in your email. We'll even make a little thumbnail for you. There's a little timestamp drag where you can drag to what section of the video you want to be the still shot. And then you can email it out, and you can email it to just one segment or to everyone on your list. So if you're kind of shy about video and you just want to get started, start by just incorporating it into your client communications. That's a really great way to dip your toe in. And people like to watch video more than they like to read. We found this to be true.
Yes, actually, what was that cool? There was a cool stat. So if you read text, you retain 10%. If you see a video, you retain 95%.
So Susan, tell us about this, because some people are going to say, I still don't want to put my face on camera.
Yeah, I'm so with you actually, which is why I like ick every time I see that. But so you can do video with motion graphic and animation, and that's one of the ways that FMG helps. So if you don't want to do your own videos, it still counts if you're sending out a video that talks about the markets, let's say. And this is one of probably our most popular automation is our monthly market insights. We call it MMI, and it's animated graphics, with just voice. It doesn't have voice, right? Or is it voice, Elise? Or is it just writing?
Yeah, it's just writing. And I would double check.
And, fast forward a year, our vision is that you can record your voice and through AI, we'll put it on there. But don't tell our product people I just said that. But I think that's the future of this. But for now, you can check the box and send video out by just using a video newsletter, which also includes the text. And I think that's also one of the things to think about. It doesn't have to be just a video or just a text. Sometimes doing both is the best, whether it's you recording like a quick synopsis of what you're sending in text, or if you want to just check the box and incorporate video by using our monthly market insights.
Somebody just said, Michaela Klopp said, our clients love the MMI and we get the most email engagement with that. And all the feedback is always about how much the clients love them. So thank you for
Michaela,
sharing.
you've got a hat and a Yeti wine tumbler. Please text our host and let us know your address. I'm so glad it's working well for you.
And
Yes,
something
and
I wanna
And
add-
Todd Day. Oh,
Yeah.
Todd, I have definitely given you swag on other events. Very engaged. Love it.
our monthly market insight can be shared on social too. So again, utilizing it in a number
Where
of
can they find it? You can find it if you have a premium subscription. I hate to say like some of these are not in all the packages. We have an essential package, a premium package, and a do it for me. The MMI is part of the premium package. So it is potentially an upgrade if you are in the essential. It really would be worth exploring your options to understand what are the benefits of premium over essential. And the main one really is all these automations. And this is just one of a zillion.
Yeah.
Literally. we have
Somebody
a
asked, they said they heard a rumor that LinkedIn penalizes you for sharing video. Is that true?
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely not.
No.
Every social media platform at this point prioritizes video content for the most part. So yes, you still need to have an engaging video and all that. The main thing is you want to upload it natively to the platform. So like if you have a YouTube video, you don't want to share the link to YouTube. You want to upload the video itself. That's the key. Okay, so we know marketing can feel hard. Aubrey, can we put the poll up about the Do It For Me program? We've shared so many tips. We're giving you all the marketing guide. I know this is just the tip of the iceberg and people are saying it's like drinking from a fire hose. We would love to help you make it feel easier. We don't want it to be hard. So if you would just love someone to do it for you, you're interested in having our team help you with your marketing in 2025 or get started right away, just say, yes, I'm interested, and we'll reach out to you. We cannot thank you all enough, though, for spending this afternoon with us. We're so excited to get this guide in your hands, and we want to keep hearing from you. So tell us, what would you most love us to teach you more about when it comes to marketing in 2025? What should we have our next workshop on? I don't know, ladies.
Absolutely. I saw a video, but we'll send out the replay. If you want to just reply to that email and share your ideas on topics for 2025, we would love to hear from you. We truly love what we do, and engaging with you on these webinars just makes our year. So we wish you all amazing holidays, healthy, happy, and we will see you in the new year.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.